Alright, so
You
let's
can't
meet
know
up.
that, but in
You know,
500 years
the
from today,
supposed
the
crew that
world
we
is a
saw at the
wasteland.
beginning
Everything is
of the
destroyed.
game.
The surface
Yeah, this
uninhabitable.
game's not
The
fooling
last
around.
survivors live in
Also,
bunkers below
guys,
ground, and
subtitles on
mankind
top of the
teeters on
Yeah,
subtitles.
we
top.
already
Come
I already
on.
mentioned at the
Well,
beginning, and you
that's
late noticed that also in the middle of
Do you
Chris
believe
Pine.
me?
It's
Oh, no,
weird
no, no, no,
because
no, no, no,
Yes,
no,
of
no.
course.
My point was
That's
how
the
the
team.
subtitles
See?
were literally on top of each other. Like, not just the fact that there are two of them,
Anyway,
but
let's analyze the photo by clicking on each individual member, starting with Discount
This
Picard.
man, the bald one.
I was about to say, Patrick
looks
Stewart,
important.
what are you doing
That's
here?
Crotty, our commander. His task is to keep everyone in the colony alive. I think it was hard for him to send us on such a difficult mission. Joseph spent a lot of time in the archives. That was where he learned everything there is to know about the world.
That must have been quite a lot.
Oh, well, not that much, really. But he must have read everything that was still legible at least 100 times.
Alright.
Yeah, more legible.
Next
Dina
one.
and Joseph were eager to go to Europia. After the mission,
Europia.
they wanted to see the
Again,
Earth there.
it's the future, Pedro.
I don't know.
So
I
we,
guess.
we
You are
recognize
not
different
smart.
places with
I
different
just don't
names.
see how that can help us saving the world.
Who is the woman in the red sweater?
Sadi. She's my best friend. She went to South America.
On a student exchange?
No, we don't have things to exchange. All this materialism was
They
what
don't
doomed
know
the
what
world in
student
the first
exchanges
place.
are in
We
the
don't need
future,
all
I
Well,
guess.
to be fair, they live in a
We just
post-apocalyptic
wanna
world,
survive.
so
The
All
entire
right,
focal
never
point is
mind.
that,
It was a
you know,
misunderstanding. Please
Svensson is
calm
not
down.
trusting Faye, and she has to convince him.
This is Hardy.
To
He
be
was sent to
fair,
the Zwiebel
That's
Earth
why
to
he's,
talk
he's
to the
Yeah.
raising
there.
skeptical questions.
And where's that supposed to be? In Neverland?
ha ha ha.
I'm not sure, but I don't think that's where it is.
oh damn, they lost a lot of literature. They don't even know
that
what
is
Peter
Delvin.
Pan
He's
is.
something like a prodigy. He fixed the numator on his own, before anyone even knew that the thing was broken.
A super genius,
Delvin gets
eh?
along with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He looks scared.
We all were, each in our own way.
Does he look scared? I mean, I guess that's
Who is that?
the scared
That?
expression.
Oh, that's Salvador. He was in Norway too. I'm sure you'll meet him soon.
And he comes from the future as well?
Yes, yes, of course. Where do you think the picture was taken?
On a Hollywood set.
On a space station? On Mars?
Don't be ridiculous. You'll understand soon.
Guess we won't be getting
Nigel
our
is
ass
my
to
mentor.
Mars.
Is it?
He took care of me after my parents died.
It's like
I'm
the
sorry.
moon landing
Didn't
was
know.
secretly shot by
What
Stanley
happened to
Kubrick.
them?
Of course.
The UN scouts. They miscalculated the vertical pressure of the toxosphere. The kites held, but the anchor tore.
That... sorry to hear that.
That's okay. You couldn't know.
But maybe I could
Pretty
possibly
costumes.
prevent it since I'm
So,
in the
why are
past.
Fun
you
fact,
doing this?
if
You
you
still don't
if you
understand?
bother to
In
not
our
check
time,
of
the
any
world is
portrait
coming to an
and actually
end.
exit
The
the default
catastrophe
immediately,
is
you
too
get an
far
achievement for
advanced.
that.
We are time travel pilots.
Beautiful.
We were sent to the year 2050 to stop the climate change.
Excuse me?
We wanted to redress the mistakes of mankind, but we miscalculated.
It turns out it was actually the animal's fault, not man.
You've Zeta miscalculated. Chapter
Yes.
1, Leaden Air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, then.
Let's see, for me, it's more so, okay, I understand the whole resolution thing that Theo was saying earlier, but at the same time, you have speech balloons. You don't need subtitles for these parts. You can have subtitles for the parts where there's no speech balloons.
Yeah, like, seriously. You should have at least put something to
still
the
alive?
side for when the text has to
Also,
be down
at
there.
the again,
Doesn't
at the cost
feel
of
like
sounding
it.
a bit cynical, I'm
Stop
sorry.
joking.
Nigel voice
We are
actor, which
here.
is gonna be recycled for a couple
How
of
do you know
NPCs in the
without-
game, kinda sucks.
Take me to your leader.
Not only the voice probably
Ouch!
doesn't fit that character
Damn it.
appearance, but a lot of times
okay?
it
Don't
really
touch the
gives the
shell.
whole, you know, the voice
Yeah.
actor was not,
Thanks. I know that
did not
now.
knew
Say hello
what the
to the
character
year
was going to do,
2050.
so the delivery does not match the emotional tone that it should have.
For me, it's
I'm
like,
guessing it's a combination of when this game was made and by whom it was made, given
So
whatever
yeah,
budget they must
welcome
have
to
had.
the far future of
You
2050.
made it to the past.
oh, okay, now I'm actually hearing it better. I can see what you mean.
Wait, is this so? This is what's going to happen if we don't meet our 2050 CO2 target.
Oh,
Yes.
don't worry, Wibs, you will see soon just enough also what happened to your country.
No, but
Now,
I
the
can see what
golden
Teo
glass
means.
looks different in my imagination.
Or here.
Less
Like,
dirty.
Yeah.
on paper, in a vacuum, the voice actor is not too bad, but like
We
he
should get
said,
started immediately.
aside from not fitting 100%, a lot of times it doesn't. It should be something like he should be annoyed or angry or something, but a lot of times it just sounds
While I look around.
neutral.
Oh,
Let me put it this
wait.
way.
What
I
now?
can see what they're going for with the voice specifically.
This.
The problem is his delivery. His delivery sucks.
You were
Like,
trained to
I
operate
mean,
the time radio transmitter, not me.
Now, I can't even say that it feels like it's on an indie budget from 2010.
No, like I said,
because,
Drova,
like,
it's more the fact that, again, all these people are uncredited, as far as I know, so there's a good chance that Daedalic hired a bunch of people in Germany who knew how to speak English. I can tell because a couple of them do have a noticeable German accent while talking.
What if
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the heavy rain problem.
Starting
I
with
will
the,
say-
with the Ponya onward, they will actually start to hire proper English voice actors, so don't worry about
Like,
that.
I guess I will say my surprise is that this game apparently did come out in 2010, yet this looks like something that arguably could have come from the 90s. Not necessarily in a bad way. Like, if they made this as a throwback, that's fine. But
Yeah, so that, like
I-
he said, I think at the beginning, Drova, that's the entire stick of what Daedalic wanted to do, to continue what LucasArts stopped doing.
There should be a manual there.
Right, yeah. My main
as
thing, though, is about the
Maybe I
fidelity of the
shouldn't have skipped
graphics, which,
training.
again,
Is there
for
anything else you
2010, I
wanted to
feel
know?
they could have done better. Again, unless this was the
Nothing.
intent.
Yes,
Part of me does wonder if some of the issues may have been necessitated
believe a
by the
word of
budget
this.
of the game.
This
Like,
madness.
do we have any figures on
No.
how
Ridiculous.
expensive
I
this
was
game
told to
was?
set up
No,
a
I
time
don't know.
radio antenna to
Again,
contact
Oh,
the
well.
already
teams.
information on this game, is a bit cumbersome more than anything. Anyway, let's check the time
Heat still
capsule.
emanates from it, and it
Which is
seems
shaped
to be
like
in
an
good
egg.
condition. That's all I can tell from here.
Also, someone is still playing Resident Evil 5.
So yeah, we're in the future.
This trap leads to the cargo area.
Thank you.
Let's see. And that's what we need to
The
find,
time
the radio antenna.
disassembled
Because
and
again,
packed to
if you
save
did
space.
not check that out, what the dialogue
Now,
basically
I
said
only need
is
to find a
that
good
Nigel
spot to set
told
it up.
Faye to establish contact using the antenna.
We used more energy than expected. I hope it's still enough for a second jump.
Yeah, it's
Not-
like Teo
Tank
said in the
controls,
sorry.
Check. Atomic furnace.
I was gonna say, if
Yeah.
not, we'll probably have to solve another puzzle for it.
Yeah, I can definitely see what Teo said in the previous part. You can tell the actors were not given context for what their lines are, what the characters are looking at or doing at the time that they say these lines.
Trust me,
Because this woman delivers every line in the exact same intonation.
Trust me, the best of the worst delivery comes from a part of it is way later down the line, but trust me, it's a doozy.
I wonder if this is a case where they couldn't get an English voice director, so the voice direction wasn't the best for this game.
Like you said,
But
it's
I look at the sorry.
it's probably also because it was done internally in Germany, Drova, more than anything else.
But it would still be 30% short.
Stop pulling my leg. The algae could never produce enough energy for such a device.
It
He's
can,
really going
and
this
it
far
will.
being skeptical, even though we got pulled into the future
The
already?
controls are all in the
Keep
normal
in mind
range.
that she's talking about a device
I
that
can't
uses
take
the
this, Benson.
supposedly
It is
the
stationary,
research
mounted to
that
ensure
Svensson
constant
was
power
looking
supply
for
to the
while he was
time
still
capsule.
working.
I guess, but dude, time travel, isn't it
I
kind
always
of
take the
obvious
knife with
that,
me.
you know,
You'll
it's
never know.
found later in the future?
What Svensson is basically doing is a Lumineko, Drova. He's
This is my
basically
time
trying
radio
to
transmitter. As soon as I
be
set up the
skeptical in
time
advance
radio antenna,
and believing
I can
that
contact
whatever
the
she's
other
saying to
teams.
him, she's basically constructing a story and needs to see if there's a contradiction or if she's
Weird.
even
It
manipulating
doesn't
him for
work.
that.
Looks like it's not
I guess
getting
in that
power.
case, kudos for thinking ahead.
Certainly not.
Yes, Pedro?
But I look at the bright side too. It also works in the 90s throwback because yeah, this sounds just like the a lot of the voice acting in the point and click games of the 90s actually.
Oh my god, can you imagine
More
if
so
they
the
actually...
Sierra one. LucasArts had a lot more money to spend, admittedly.
That would
They
be
even
funny
got,
if they...
believe it or not, Drova, they did got Scrooge McDuck's voice actor for one of the Monkey Island games.
Yeah, Alan Young.
Yeah, no, LucasArts definitely did give it their all when it came to their adventure games.
Alright, here let's try to charge the battery. Fuck.
Uh-oh.
Well, crud.
That didn't sound reassuring. No.
Well, let's hope it doesn't bite us in the ass.
Totally not good.
But
Yeah,
you know,
this woman, I get the feeling this woman is literally reading every line one after the other without even stopping to consult with anybody about what's going on right now. How am I supposed to deliver this?
like, okay, I'm wondering actually, that would be funny if the intent was legit to have them voice act like we are in the early 90s.
To finish putting up the antenna.
Alright, let's start to talk a bit more with Nigel.
Alright, let's go.
Do you really believe we can save the world?
Mankind surely won't cling to the prospect of their own destruction once they know the truth.
Are you sure about that?
One can only hope. How much
I
longer
mean,
do you
didn't
need?
you come back in the hope of saving the world?
See, it makes
anyway?
sense to have subtitles in these parts, because these parts don't have the balloons.
It would be
And
The
again,
cutscenes that have speech balloons, though, you don't need to have those.
It's also
then.
the way LucasArts tended to do, including
What's
with
wrong?
having
You look
the
worried.
color associated with one character, so it's more comprehensive.
Oh no, I get that. I'm talking about the comic book style
Why do
cutscenes.
I
Yeah.
have to do this?
I
mean,
will say,
why
I
can't
do
somebody
dig the
else do
art
it?
style,
That's
though. Like,
exactly
again,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
actually a pretty good throwback, and well,
It's
like,
like I've said various times
Did I
before.
poison
Sorry.
the atmosphere? Or cause the poles to melt? And don't give me one of
Oh
your
my God.
responsibilities
Yeah, a
as
lot of
born
times
from
there's a bit of
creatures.
unnecessarily
How about
forced
set up the
conflict.
antenna, or I'll lock you into the atomic oven lecture then.
Can't
pleasant.
that wait? I'd like to take a look around first.
Keep in mind,
Welcome to
Nigel is
First
supposed to be
Radio
Faye's
Operator.
mentor, you know, her
You've done
Obi-Wan and
already.
anything. Up until this point,
I'd
there
better
was
get
no
on with my
indication that he had
I
some
wanted
sort
to
of animosity
suggest
towards
just
her,
that.
but out of nowhere, just because you can question him a bit more, he can pull that off, I guess.
Oh yeah, I remember those bits in Star Wars where Obi-Wan just stopped what he was
Leave me alone, I'm
Kelly-
busy.
stopped what he was doing. Stopped what he was telling Luke about his father to say, "Oh, by the way, Luke, did you know you're poisoning Tatooine?"
That being said, for the sake of continuing on from Jova's point and saying something positive,
I don't believe
no,
it.
it's like I've
Hold
said
on, wait
various
for
times.
it. It
Oh,
was San
no!
Francisco all along, and surprisingly the Golden Gate Bridge is still
The whole
intact.
city is destroyed.
Yeah, I know, right? Wait,
Wow,
Can it be possible that
that
we're
fucking
so-
delivery,
yeah.
Jesus Christ!
I hope the situation
the whole
is better for
city
the
is
other teams.
destroyed.
What direction were these guys getting?
Everything
Probably
is
I'm
not,
okay.
no.
We're
I have no
together.
idea what I'm doing. Direction,
Okay,
someone
okay,
give me direction.
Guys,
Father's
guys,
architecture.
what'll
They
it be?
even bound continents
The whole
together.
city is destroyed, or
Arrogance.
the whole city's on fire.
Well, at least Jason was given direction.
Yeah.
It was poor, but at least it was direction.
Alright, so let's set up the antenna.
This is the
Which also
purpose of
means,
the set of
being
the time
point and click
radio
tradition,
antenna.
it's time for a puzzle.
Of course.
Leo.
How many pick rats do we get?
Let me explain a
Everything I
bit.
need should be in the
The
suitcase.
instruction is on top, as you can see, with how the antenna should be constructed. Every single component is inside. You have to basically apply the IKEA method and build piece by piece for Jova's delight. But I actually don't mind. They also have a slight accessibility feature in a sense that if you cannot, for your saving your life, finish the puzzle after just a bit, sometimes immediately, but after just a bit, you will have a big old red button at one point pop up in the top right corner that outright makes you skip the puzzle. What you technically miss usually are achievements attached to that. But like I said, I think only one or two puzzles in this are really, really obtuse. So compared to the ones of your average point-and-click game, this is
doesn't fit.
fine.
No.
Oh, sure.
Oh, no, like, I mean, this seems just fine in that regard, honestly. So, based off of the girl's surprise, though, I'm guessing that means we may have accidentally have altered the time badly already.
More like
went...
it seems that they wanted to travel in a time where civilization was still active, but it seems that they miscalculated, as we said.
Uh-huh.
The idea behind
Boy,
that
wouldn't
is that they want to actually, intervene
No.
when humanity is still present to tell them, assholes, the climate is about to change for the worse, so do something.
And I'm sure they thought ahead to bring proof that they're from the future.
I mean, the fact,
Yeah.
keep in mind, the antenna that we're actually assembling, it's entirely designed for Faye to contact the people in different time spaces.
Well, now I only have to determine the right sequence for the cubes. If I remember correctly, I just have to see to it that I install.
Oh, yeah,
Alright,
like I'd say-
here's
together on
the
same side of
here the
antenna.
more threatening part. You have to assemble the cubes. You have 6 cubes, and you have to put them 3 on each side of the actual antenna. Each of them, when the antenna is activated, will actually, open up in like a flower in a specific way. How do you know which cube to put in there? That's your trial and error. But to be fair, you don't really lose anything for trying, because there you go. I'm just putting there. It also has a bit of an indication where the green light gets actually, properly lit on the antenna. So worst case, you're losing like 1 or 2 minutes tops with this. Like I said, the obtuse puzzle will arrive later. Don't worry.
And like, if you played this before, you probably know ahead of
Voila.
time.
Yes, it's not randomized.
Ha! Done.
Well done.
So now what we need to do is to connect our transmitter to that and see what we can find.
The receiver detected the device. Let's do it.
Hey, you almost demoted there, honey.
Let's see. I should have a signal now. Hello? Time Travel Control Center? Anybody? This is Radio Operator Faye. Can you hear me?
Time travel team? Hear me? Hello? Amplifier, quickly. We have a connection. Oh,
Even in the future, Skype never could work.
To be fair, it's already
we have
an
a problem.
impressive feat of
San
contacting
Francisco
people in
is-
different time spans, so...
it's very bad. Can we...
Hello? General?
Huh, who'd have thought that Wi-Fi would be
Wait,
bad during an
so hang on.
apocalypse?
Wait, is it General or Quaddy? Subtitles, make your mind up.
Well,
Timeline drift
oh,
apart
okay.
more and more. We'll try to
Yeah,
connect them to
sometimes
other teams
that
before the
it happens
contact
to
group.
the fact that sometimes the subtitles do not
no.
match.
No.
Also, it's
No.
time for us to have
Please.
the major,
Please don't.
first major, bomb by seeing what happened to the other teams. Because again, each of them was kind of scattered throughout the world, and see what happens. Starting with.
Some lady there.
Dina.
Dinah.
Dina.
Dina, see,
Where's the
yeah.
rest of your team?
In London, go look. Take a good
Whoa!
look at that, Williams. Well, I heard about raids in London, but this is ridiculous.
Hold on. That looked like
Of
a
course.
skit. That looked like a skit from the Daily Show. Like,
Dina!
so we cut into Dina. What's this one's name again?
Faye, I'm just in London and everything
that's
here
it,
is
Faye.
flooded.
Yeah,
Back to you, Faye.
Faye, I'm here. Faye, I'm here in England, and I'm about to draw.
Oh boy, hold on.
Seriously?
Watch out for this.
Joseph? Oh my god, what's happening?
The Eiffel Tower is being sucked up a tornado.
We are smack in the middle of it. I repeat.
So basically...
Jesus!
Oh!
By the way, this is not M-rated as far as I know.
That thing smashed his head in.
Complete with the crunch sound, like holy shit.
What
was
was
the
Why is,
thing
it,
rated?
why is it every time there's a
The
post-apocalyptic,
Tibetan
why are we always
mountains are
flooded?
erupting.
I'll check.
The Sydney Opera is on fire.
How's America?
The Taj Mahal is just
Ooh.
desertified.
Buried
Well, the
in
Taj
sand.
Well, the Taj Mahal's intact.
And
Massive.
Moscow is buried in snow.
Mass hysteria. Got it.
Also, Jova, remember, we're in San Francisco currently with Faye, so it's flopped.
Ah, right, yeah.
And lastly, in South America, the remains of a power plant. Hi.
Wait, that was a power plant.
She's gonna explain in a second.
Oh, that's radioactive.
That
can't be good.
Saudi, can you still hear me? Please hold on.
So yeah, we just had to watch a few of our friends
They are
die
all
in
dead.
gruesome fashion.
Everybody is dead, Dave.
To answer your question, Jova, it's I checked the Steam page. It's rated PEGI 12, which for you would be
This
T.
picture shows the bridge I saw from the
Probably.
plateau.
Again,
It
but
must
okay,
be
to
the
be fair,
second
there's not that
Francisco
much
King.
swearing or other instances of gore, but that moment
The
clearly
connection
comes
to
the
other
fuck out
teams
of
still
nowhere.
exists. Maybe I
I'm
could try
guessing it helps
contacting
that
them
they
again.
didn't have blood in it.
I also noticed here that it has mixed reviews on Steam.
Yeah, like I said, Pedro, this game is very buggy because of its release, and you will be able to see just by the end of it.
I'm curious, is it so buggy that it has some...
I'll explain more also about
Nigel?
what the review
Nigel.
consensus was later on, because I think you guys need the context of the
I
game.
better go searching for him.
I just wanted to ask, is it so buggy that it actually has some game-breaking bugs?
One or two, yes.
Ooh.
Also her walking
I
cycle.
can't open it.
It's
locked.
the 60s Scooby-Doo one, yes.
Yeah.
Also, it seems Nigel has left us high and
tightly
dry.
locked.
That or he's been kidnapped.
Well, that's what we had to
I
find
hope this
out.
works.
But first, again, like in a
not
good
bad.
point-and-click
And
game,
what's this?
loot everything. And I will say this, at the very least the situation makes it so that
I
for the
wonder
most
why it's
part,
in here.
you taking items, is not really regarded as something necessary as a really bad action, only in a couple of moments. Don't worry, it's the pony that makes it a point to make your character an asshole for doing that. But we'll get to that.
Of course.
Nigel?
Oh, that can't be good.
Faye! Hold on, I'm coming.
Wait for it. That was like a He-Man classic cartoon moment.
Okay. When fucking King's Quest V from 1990 can do a better scream than you have a problem.
A new beginning was filmed in front of a live audience.
I'll think of something.
So yeah, now we need to find a
high.
way to take down the
chance.
ladder from which we fell in.
Josh Mandel may not be a voice actor of profession, but you have to give him credit. The man can scream.
Why didn't you learn it?
Like,
Live below the earth. I never had to learn it.
That's so?
Oh.
To be fair, Svensson, that I can't believe. So
So this is technically this girl's first time, properly
experiencing water
seeing
like that,
the
yes.
Earth's
Terrible.
surface. So she's like
The
the
knife is
reverse
sharp
version
enough.
of Shadow.
Perfect.
Instead of being from space, she's from the inside of the Earth.
A nylon
Yes.
cord.
a couple of these items will not be of use immediately, but it's always, again, nice to collect them in advance.
I will say, it does help set the stakes by showing others trying other different time dates and showing
rod is loose.
just how wrong time travel can
They
go in this
usually,
world.
they seem to have arrived around the same time, it's just that in different locations, because the idea is that they get scattered throughout the
door
world
is
in order to
conspicuously
spread the
crooked.
message. But unfortunately,
So-
because we miscalculated, most of the
totally
Phoenix plan is
silent
going
behind
to
the door,
going to
which
bust.
doesn't have
So
to mean
for the
anything.
time being,
It's
Faye
no
has to
different
find
on this
Nigel,
side of the
refer to
door
him
after
what
all.
happened, and see what we can do.
Locked.
So ironically,
What else?
Faye, I guess, got the closest thing to a jackpot since she apparently
Let's
got
get
the
on with it.
one place that wasn't in the middle of being destroyed.
Yes, seems to be.
And that's only because it already has been destroyed. Although it's San
Strange.
Francisco,
There's a
so
lot of
I'm guessing
paper on the wall.
earthquake.
Possible, but they only refer to having it as, being
wall under
flooded
doesn't look
and the
much
water being acidic in nature.
no, I get it. This is the alternate timeline
Yep.
where the space
Moisture
colony arc
penetrated the
actually
wall.
hit San
The boards are
Francisco.
wet and rotten.
Damn.
That actually would not
Not
surprise
with my
me,
bare
given
hands.
how, the arc slamming into Earth obviously would have destroyed it, but it would have done so much stuff probably over the whole climate.
It works. I knew the iron rod would prove useful.
Would you now?
That's certainly a phrase. I knew the iron rod would be useful. I don't know if
Yikes.
it's the quotes or
There's
just the
something
way
like an
she
evil
says
smelling
it.
It's a
fog
combination.
exploring inside
One
these
thing,
glasses. Delvin would love this.
either you or Pedro
Heck
Jova
no,
mentioned in the
that's
previous
disgusting.
part
I might as well
wondered
use a brick
if
to clean my
there was a
teeth.
problem with translating from the German version.
Me.
Some of the
An
Steam
ordinary
reviews seem to
locker.
suggest that it might be the case, that it's not
Mhm.
super accurate,
Could be
but I
something
don't.
like a shovel.
Again, not knowing German almost
And
at
I'll
all,
take
I
the soap
cannot
as well.
tell.
Which
Yeah.
again does bring me back to my idea that
An old
I
broom.
wonder if the
It hasn't been used in
communication
a long
between,
time.
those people who obviously spoke German and those who
I
were,
hope it doesn't fall apart.
doing everything in English wasn't the
This
best
door
on
leads
stuff.
to
Probably.
the hall. A
Like,
dirty car
and
that was
again, I'm
probably
not even
used to
like
transport unwieldy
dunking on these
items.
guys, but like I do know that
Nope,
sadly
only
European
waste.
video game
Nothing useful.
companies, unless they have like a big publisher, don't always have the
Tightly
biggest
locked from this side,
production
too.
values and all
Or at
that
the very
stuff.
least,
so-
it's mostly
I'm
just
already in.
local rather than for exportation. Unless it's designed entirely to be like that, like with 505 games.
So this game was made before Daedalic apparently grew into their own publisher.
I was right
so-
about in the cusp because the
room is
end of the
long enough.
2000s, early
Great
2010 was that kind of period. Remember, this is technically counted as the final cut, so there was a version of the game that came out a few years before, but it was mostly just for European market. It was this version that refined the final touches and, also added the English
The
dub,
neon
as far as
sign
I know.
crashed into the neighboring house.
How
The
funny
storm
that a
must have
German
been
dev
terrible.
company would later be bought up by a French publisher. Nacon.
Not very sound, but it holds.
ABC.
Actually, that was it was supposed to spell global. I think it was probably a hotel.
Yeah, but because
That was a
part of the
close
G
one.
was missing, it
Oh,
looked like
okay.
a C.
So let's see if we can actually scale this thing.
We're using the global help.
It looks like a library.
Quiet, please.
I've never seen so many books in my whole life. The words on the spines are totally illegible.
Wear and
They
tear
would
will do
crumble
that.
to dust if I touched them.
Just saw like she was doing a Valley Girl thing.
A
They're like
huge
they're
pile of
totally
paper blocks the
legible.
passage.
I think I know what her
Concrete
voice
slabs
acting
weigh about a
reminds me
ton
of.
each.
Jill Valentine in like the very, very,
Yeah.
very original
These look
Resident
like some
Evil
kind of
1.
terminals, but I don't see a
It
button.
has kind of the
just
same
a
vibe
cylindrical
overall in
retaining fixture.
general,
No switch in
Hope
sight.
this is not
Maybe it
Chris's
can be
blood.
activated by putting something into
Like,
the
and
cylindrical retaining
and I do
fixture.
mean specifically Resident Evil 1, because starting with Resident Evil 2, they definitely got more serious with the voice acting. Like,
That
it
was-
wasn't
sorry.
perfect and still was a bit corny, but you could tell that there was definitely a lot more sense of direction rather than just, do it however you want.
We found Nigel, but
Nigel!
unfortunately he's in a bit of a
Don't come any
predicament.
closer. The floor
How
is
did you
unstable.
get all the way over here and
I'll
why?
get a rope. Then I can.
No, Faye. You have to.
Did you try the railing?
No, Faye. Faye, listen.
Hey!
It is really important that you listen to me very closely now. Find the 2nd San Francisco team. Find Salvador and Delvin.
Nigel, let me.
2050 is too late. You must make another time jump.
Are we
Here.
really about
in
to have
this
Nigel
console,
die?
I have. Now I know how we can stop the
But-
catastrophe.
wait,
from
Did he
happening.
just interrupt
Can we
himself?
skip
Yes,
something?
Yeah,
Like
it's a bug.
It's
It's
our
a
last
bug. Yeah.
chance.
like he said, that this
I
game is
don't
very
understand.
poorly
I
optimized.
saved the information to
Yeah, I
two
feel like
basic
this
crystals.
game could
One
use a
dropped when the
remake.
floor
Not just
caved
that,
in.
a fanfix could
Find
help.
it.
I get the
Take it to
idea
Salvador.
nobody even tried because
He will
this
know
game
what
is
to
just that
do.
unknown, but I can
Nigel,
imagine by just,
the other teams,
try
they are
to,
all
someone
dead.
with expertise with with coding can actually find an
Give
entanglement.
me
I get the
your
idea
hand.
these are mostly caused by just a couple of lines intertwining.
The bacterium is the key.
Oh God!
So,
The key.
so yeah, Faye really is our main protagonist. They introduced Nigel and then
Drop
Again,
him.
what was even his reason for going all the way over here?
I'm sorry, I get that this is an emotional scene, but it's really hard to take it seriously with this voice
He
acting.
found information, Jova. That crystal that Faye
you
got is
kidding
supposed to
me?
store
What?
information. It
It
might
was
be
terrible.
critical.
He was the only friend I had left. Why would I make up something like that?
Oh, come on. You know exactly what I'm driving at. First,
Actually, I
this
don't.
Svensson, and now the bacterium? Why don't you just say it? My friend died for your research.
Doesn't that bother you?
By God, I'm certainly not a monster.
By
but I
God,
begin
I'm
to see
certainly
where
not
your
a
fairy tale is
monster.
going. Let's see. My blue-green algae, or cyanobacterium, is the future energy source. What's next?
Yes. What's next? I asked myself the same question back then.
We miscalculated.
So taking another look at the transmitter,
Hello?
if you noticed,
Who's
the
there?
second San Francisco team was not accounted, so they might still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourselves to safety.
Wow, that was the best
Temporal
delivery in the game
efforts
so
of the
far.
others. Wait a second. What's this? A
He
distress
was
signal.
trying.
The second San Francisco team is still alive. The source of the signal is less than 2 miles away.
Hooray!
I need a boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yes. And it turns out the villain
I
was
think
Jaws
this is an
all along.
old-fashioned data storage unit. It belongs to the library.
No duh.
I think I need some kind of device to read it.
You have to think it like a USB drive. You have to connect it to a terminal. The thing is that we don't really have much time because we need to
Yes,
focus
this
on
one
rescuing
seems
the
to
second
work.
San Francisco
And it
team.
looks
We'll have
like I
time
can
for,
read the data
for
with
that
it.
later, technically.
Oh dear. That's a lot
And
of
Faye is
data.
just the
Analyzing
radio
it has to wait
communicator,
until
so
after I've
she's
found
not the
other
expert
San
on the
Francisco
matter.
team.
I like to imagine she's telling Svensson
Mhm.
The globe
all
only
these
hangs on this
details and
hinge. It
everything.
looks very
So then I
strong.
climbed up and down the global
With my bare
sign.
hands, not a chance. With my bare hands, not a chance.
Yes, you don't have super
Yes,
strength.
I think this is
But
the
we do
proper
have a
tool.
screwdriver, so let's try it.
And now we have a makeshift
It
boat.
hasn't sunk yet.
I guess the thing
It
is
was
that
made of some kind
it's
of
supposed to
durable
be a
plastic.
neon
Looks
sign, so I
seaworthy.
thought it was like mostly like
Maybe
either
I can use
glass
this
or
as a boat
relatively
to find the other
flimsy.
team.
I guess
I
in
need a
2050
paddle.
they start building well with linoleum or something. I don't know.
I bound the rope to the bar. What now?
So yeah, now we use the items that
Yes,
a couple
I
guys
combine
we
the
got to
parts
combine
firmly
them
together with the
into
rope.
a
Hey,
makeshift paddle
it looks
of
like a
sorts.
paddle. I built
Nice.
that myself. It looks sound enough to serve its purpose. I hope. Maybe I should find a boat to go with it. Let's go.
This soundtrack sure is going places.
Again, I don't know who the composer is, but at the very least they are trying.
Oh, it's like in Wind Waker HD, like you're sailing and you check your map of the Wii U gamepad.
Kinda.
Yeah, I see it. Oh, of course there's a waterfall. Wait.
Well, that's
hold on.
that's supposedly the
The
place
second
we should
capsule
be very
must be
close to
very
where
close.
the second San Francisco team is. Yes, Jova?
Also, sadly,
The
the bridge
vehicle
is
must have
not as
toppled over
intact
when the
as we
water level
thought,
fell.
apparently.
Well, at least
Looks like
partially
there's
it is.
something behind the canvas, but I can't get it
It-
off with my
It's still in
bare
a better
hands.
condition than what Magneto usually does.
Barrels were
True.
hidden behind the canvas. They seem to be empty.
Alright, what we need to do now is to,
I
for the
can
time
pull
being,
the
to find a
barrel
way
out
to
by
come
hand.
across the other side.
I'm not going.
I'm not going.
A short board is sticking up from the mud.
We'll
Yes.
take it and we'll put it in our pants.
Basically, our
Acid water
quantum
washes
storage
around the
device
rocks.
thingy.
The future really is awesome. You can now fit everything in your pockets.
So yeah, it's relatively simple puzzle. Simply put, you get to from point A to point B, take the different planks and rearrange them in what you need. Nothing to it. Like I said, since this is taking inspiration from the School of Thought of Ron Gilbert, and Tim Schafer, it's less brutal, and not as dickish as the Sierra stuff.
I'm not going to do that again. Ever.
What if the player tells you to, though?
Well, I'm guessing that's the player's cue. We're not going back. Stare into
There
the
we are.
abyss.
Delvin!
Faye, is that you?
How did you ended up
Everything
there?
okay with you?
Just a few scratches, but I don't know how long we'll be safe here. Where's Nigel?
He's dead. and the
Salvador's
other
voice
kings,
actor is
they
probably
are
the
all
one
dead.
that is
Then you better think of
more,
something to get us out of here quickly.
stable in terms
Else
of
you'll be the
delivery.
last survivor.
How can I
I'm
help you?
curious.
find a way to
You
take us
mentioned that a
away
lot of
from
these
here
actors are probably
before
still
the time
German. I
capsule
wonder
comes
if
down
they
on our
also
heads.
gave
But
a
how?
monotone
still have a
performance
rope.
in
We
the
can use the
German
harpoon
dub
to
as
shoot it up
well.
to you.
Well, no, I
That's all
listened
we
to
can
it, Joe,
do.
but it sounds
Okay.
genuinely
Let's
just
try
better,
it.
even in terms of inflation.
Okay. Then here's my best guess. Assuming a lot of these people doing the English are, German, maybe it's
Delvin
because
used
they
the
were
harpoon
focusing
to
on
shoot
trying to
this rope up
maintain
to
the
me. How am I
accent and
supposed to pull the
on
two
pretty
up
much
with this?
nothing else when dubbing it in English.
Trust me, Joe, it's something similar,
The rope would
because
slip off
this
the
is something
rod
that I
when
know
pulled.
is famous also in English. You know the Dingo Pictures dinosaur movie?
Yes.
The meme that came out of it, the E stuff, comes from the Italian
The
dub
rear
because
axle is
Dingo
covered in
Picture
mud.
was a German company, and they also had the
I can't
people,
clear the mud away with
there
my
in
bare
Germany to
hands.
do all the dubs. That included also the ones
Yes,
from my
I
country,
should
but as
be
a
able to
result,
clear the mud away
it
with
ran into
this.
the exact same problem of this game, and as
Okay,
for
then.
goofy results.
Okay, then in that case, my big
No,
fear
no.
as to why the acting sounds like this is, again, it's foreign actors just focusing on keeping up a good, convincing accent and
keys in
nothing
the
else,
lock.
which,
This vehicle might
you know what,
actually
I
still
can kind of
work.
get. I've tried doing acting in some other languages, and I'll admit, it can be a bit difficult to focus on doing a different language while also getting the emotions right.
No way.
No way!
I have something to say that concerns more the writing. I love how when Fate told him that everybody's dead, he had absolutely no reaction to it. He just treated like she just told him the most natural thing in the
You'll
world.
just see what kind of personality Salvador
The
has.
keys in the lock. Let me
Oh,
see.
really?
Evil.
Well, for the time being,
works.
I
The
just
car
need
really
to make
started,
sure
but I
that
better stop
we
the
can
engine
actually
for
pull
now.
them out.
Oh, good to see that the car can start.
So the idea is to try to connect
No, and no.
The idea is to try to connect the rope there, so it pulls them out. But we need to make sure that the rope doesn't break, as well.
So a strong enough cable, and then we've got a handy pulley system.
Kinda. The cable is strong enough, but we just need to make sure that it doesn't, break by frictioning onto, for example, the floor. For example, but the thing that I forgot, because again, it has been a while since I played it. 2016, that's what the day, by the way, when I checked, since the last
Not
time that I played
necessary
it.
anymore. The back wheel
There you
is
go.
exposed
I'm supposed to take away the back wheel before actually putting the rope there. That is because the back wheel is also gonna be needing to.
A rusted wheel rim is still attached to the
There you
rear
go.
wheel.
It's gonna
I
be
wonder
needed
what
to
happened
actually
the tire.
make the rope pass the rope. Basically, you'll see.
A slightly rusted wheel rim. And the wheel is done.
There you go. Then you just need to make the rope pass there.
Alright then.
I put the rope on the wheel rim.
Then connect the rope to the wheel of a car, which is now unoccupied.
And then...
And then I just need to start the engine.
Beautiful.
The key is in the lock. Well then, let's go.
There you go. In the next part, we will see just how the three have actually managed to, you know, get back to near the time machine that Petfe and Nigel had used, and to see what we can do from there. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.